Okay, let's get into this. We're diving into a moment of just pure coaching frustration here.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Lakers, they had this nice 5-game win streak going, and then bam, it ends. And not just ends, it ends badly. 122-102 against the Atlanta Hawks.
Right. An ugly loss.
Exactly. So our mission today isn't really about that final score. It's more about why this one loss made JJ Redick, the first-year head coach, basically boil over. It seems to reveal maybe some deeper issues,
Yeah.
consistency, effort.
Oh, definitely. And what's really interesting is how fast the story became, not about the game, but about that press conference.
Mhm.
It went viral almost instantly,
Mm.
less than 90 seconds long. His replies were so short, so curt, you can just feel the disgust.
Yeah.
This wasn't like a coach trying to shield his players. This felt like a public calling out, almost a shaming of their approach.
And he didn't waste any time saying when he knew it was bad. A reporter tries to ask, was there a moment the game slipped away? Thinking maybe, third quarter, a bad run.
Right. The usual stuff.
And Reddick just cuts him off, flat out. The quote everyone picked up was, "I realized that in the first 2 minutes of the game."
Wow. I mean, that's immediate. That's harsh.
All right.
He's basically saying the team failed the second they stepped on the court. But the killer part, the really explosive bit, was the follow-up.
When the reporter asked what he saw in those 2 minutes,
Yeah. What made him realize it was over so quickly?
and Reddick just says, nothing.
Oof. That word, nothing. In coaching, that's loaded.
It means effort, right? Not strategy or shots.
Exactly. It's not about missing jumpers or a bad defensive scheme. It's zero foundation. It's guys not doing the absolute basics, the non-negotiables, like weak side help, closing out on a shooter properly, hustling back on defense, boxing out, simple stuff, effort plays. And to see none of that in the first 2 minutes, that points to a mental disconnect right from the tip-off.
And you look at the game flow, it backs him up completely. The Lakers, they never led again after those first 2 minutes he mentioned.
Never.
Down 14 at the half, 68-54. Then the third quarter. Just an 18-point disaster.
Yeah, totally fell apart.
By the start of the fourth, they're down by 26 points. That's a team that just wasn't there mentally.
And listen to how Redick framed it. He called the loss very disappointing. Then he specifically pointed out the Hawks.
What did he say about them?
He said they brought the requisite level of effort and urgency and physicality.
So the implication is,
Crystal clear, right. For you listening, it means his guys, these pros, didn't even meet the minimum job requirement. Trying hard.
which really gets to the core of it. Why this loss? Why did it set him off so much? I mean, it's still early. They had been winning.
Yeah, 7-3 is a good start.
So why the meltdown over this one game? It has to be the context, the circumstances around it.
It's all about the context. Look
Yeah.
at the schedule. The Lakers were rested. They hadn't played since Wednesday.
Okay, rest.
The Hawks, they were on the second night of a back-to-back. That's almost always a disadvantage. A huge energy gap. That should have been easy pickings for LA.
That's a built-in advantage right there. And then the rosters.
Right. People will say, oh, but LeBron and Reeves were out. Okay, true. Significant absences.
Oh, the Hawks.
But the Hawks were absolutely gutted. Way more shorthanded. Missing their star, Trae Young, plus Porzingis, Jalen Johnson, Kennard, Alexander Walker. Key guys.
So you've got a rested team at home against a tired, depleted opponent.
Exactly. Redick must have walked in expecting, look, maybe not a walkover, but a win driven by just sheer effort and pace.
And instead,
Instead, the reports all said the Lakers looked flat, slow, and disconnected from the opening tip. It wasn't about talent missing. It was about the guys who were there not showing up mentally, not respecting the game, maybe.
okay, but hold on. Is this the right move? A first-year coach, 90 seconds of fury, basically shaming the team publicly, especially with stars out. Is that, calculated or just pure venting?
That's a fair question. Is the league really expecting peak effort every single night for 82 games? Maybe he is overreacting a bit.
Right. It's a long season.
It is. But knowing Redick's background, his personality, he was always this incredibly intense, analytical competitor. My gut says this is calculated.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's drawing a line in the sand, doing it early. He knows the talent is there. But he's trying to build a culture around urgency. If he lets this kind of loss slide, losing badly to a massively handicapped team because of low effort, he loses the locker room, or at least his credibility on that point, right away.
Okay, so he has to react strongly, make an example of it.
He has to show that this standard, the effort standard, it's non-negotiable, period.
Turn the embarrassment of the loss into an internal message. And it seems like the players, they kind of got the message, or at least acknowledged the problem.
Well, yeah, and that's crucial. It wasn't just Redick seeing it. We heard from inside the locker room. DeAndre Ayton confirmed it.
Ayton, what did he say? He didn't have a great game himself, right?
Yeah.
11 points, 5 boards.
Not huge numbers, no. But he was brutally honest afterwards. He didn't make excuses. He talked about the shame, basically, of how they competed. Or rather, didn't compete.
Yeah. Do you have the quote?
Yeah, he said something like, they played phenomenal, but us not even damn near competing in the sense it looks bad on paper, it looks bad on the film. And then this line.
Yeah.
This is one of them games where, yeah, the food gonna taste bad tonight.
Ooh, yeah, that hits. The food gonna taste bad tonight.
We've all been there, right? That feeling after a massive screw-up at work, knowing the tough meeting is coming.
The dreaded performance review.
Exactly. Ayton's basically saying, we know the film session is going to be awful. Redick's going to make them watch every single lazy closeout, every missed box out, relive it.
Which brings us to the bigger picture, really. This deep dive isn't just about one bad loss. It's about what Redick's reaction signifies. It points towards this ongoing issue, this struggle for consistency that, let's be honest, has kind of dogged this Lakers core for a while, even before Redick got there.
That's the real story here. Because despite this absolute stinker of a game, the Lakers are still, what, 7-3? Second in the West? That's a good record.
It's a solid start, so talent isn't the issue.
No, the talent's clearly there. So Redick's intense frustration, it suggests he sees this inconsistency, this tendency to maybe play down to the level of competition as the main hurdle.
And it's not the first time he's reacted like this. You mentioned that.
Correct. This isn't totally new. He apparently walked out of a presser last postseason after a similar kind of low-energy, disappointing loss.
Okay, so there's a pattern he's trying to break.
Exactly. He sees this inconsistency, this mental fragility sometimes, as the team's biggest weakness. He's trying to install a culture of discipline, maybe like what he experienced at Duke, or saw with disciplined teams like Miami. Apply that to a veteran team that maybe got used to
flipping the switch, coasting sometimes.
Yeah, knowing they have the talent to turn it on when needed. But Redick seems to be saying, nope, not on my watch, especially not this early in his tenure. He wants reliability, mental toughness every night.
It's a culture clash almost, the intense, maybe more collegiate, every game matters approach versus the veteran, it's a long season reality.
It's about setting expectations now. When you're supposed to be a contender, losing like that to a tired team, missing half its key players, it's not just a loss on the schedule. It signals something deeper. It suggests the team thought they could just show up and win.
That entitlement, maybe?
Could be. And in that kind of thinking, it's poison in a locker room.
Yeah.
It undermines everything you're trying to build over 82 games.
So the timing of this public call-out, it feels pretty significant then. Sets the stage for what's coming next. He's basically thrown down the gauntlet.
Absolutely. How do they respond now? That's going to tell us a lot about their identity this season.
And the schedule doesn't get any easier, right?
No, not at all. They've got, let's see, the Hornets next. Okay. But then it gets brutal. Thunder, Pelicans, Bucks.
Oof, those are tough outs, real playoff caliber teams.
You need maximum focus, maximum energy for those games. Way more than they showed against Atlanta.
So Redick's message is loud and clear. This garbage effort, not happening again.
I'm not letting this slide. That's the message. If they come out flat again in any of these next few big games, after this whole episode, the noise around this team and Redick's leadership, it's going to get very loud very quickly.
Yeah, the scrutiny will ramp up immediately.
For sure. So, this deep dive, it wasn't really about the 122-102 score. It was about seeing how coaches operate at this level, how much they value consistency, effort, demanding it every single night. It doesn't matter who's out there, who the opponent is.
Redick's basically choosing to potentially risk some short-term friction.
Yeah, awkwardness.
For the sake of building that long-term culture he wants.
Exactly.
So let's bring it back to Ayton's quote. That really stuck with me. The food gonna taste bad tonight. They know that film session is coming and it's gonna be painful.
Yeah, absolutely dreading it, you'd imagine.
So the big question for you, watching this unfold, is what happens next? We know the coach is furious. We know the players are bracing for criticism. How does that actually translate to change on the court?
Right. Does the public shaming, the inevitable tough film session, does it actually light a fire? We know they have the talent.
Yeah.
That's proven.
Mm-hmm.
But do they have that consistent mental drive, that urgency? If they come out against, say, the Thunder or the Pelicans and look just as sluggish, well, then we'll know Redick's gamble, his public display of anger, maybe didn't land the way he hoped.
And that inconsistency problem, it just gets deeper.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That becomes the dominant narrative again.